The truth about the 2025 Star Wars movie has come out. That's right, Damon Lindelof, the original writer on the movie, was ousted by Lucasfilm, and this goes against the narrative of most outlets up until this point. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's film is now being written by Stephen Knight, but originally most of the ideas came from Damon Lindelof, who was working on a script. It sounds as though there were problems in early development that were worked out, and earlier in the month at Star Wars Celebration we found out that Rey is returning. Daisy Ridley is back, 15 years after the rise of Skywalker in the timeline, but the truth about the original early stages of development have now come out. Esquire magazine spoke with former Star Wars writer Damon Lindelof, who revealed that Lucasfilm asked him to leave the upcoming movie. While some reports noted that Lindelof left the film on his own accord, the writer admitted he was asked to leave by the studio, even though he saw his original script as, quote, a true labour of love. He loved the project, he was attached to that story. He also made it clear that this movie is still happening, but, quote, unfortunately not with him, because due to the classic line creative differences, he was asked to leave, and he left the project rather unhappy. A situation we've seen time and time again. There have been so many projects that never come to fruition, specifically on the movie side of things. Patty Jenkins, Rian Johnson's trilogy, Kevin Feige's film which was being written by Michael Waldron despite what Kathleen Kennedy says, and so many others. The list goes on and on. But even with this setback, which was only one of a number for the next Star Wars film, Lindelof says he's absolutely ready to get back in line outside the club and try to get back in again for another future project. He even did his best Yoda impression, confirming he'll put forth another attempt at the right time. If his words are anything to go by, there is no bad blood between him and Lucasfilm. He will try again at a future date, maybe speak with Kathleen Kennedy, and try again with another movie idea in the future. But it is believed Stephen Knight is going to take on some of his original ideas from that first script. It's not being completely reworked. Production on the film is expected to start this coming August, and that's going to go into early next year, for a 2025 release the year after that, in December. Now there has been another rumour floating around about the Rey movie, and that is that in the original script, Rey was going to be an old woman. They weren't doing 15 years after Rise, they were going to do a whole 60, with Helen Mirren as older Rey. But I am going to say flat out, this rumour is not true. The script was always going to have a younger version of Rey. She is training a new generation of Jedi, but it's not that radically in the future. That just doesn't make any sense to me. If they're going to tell the Rey story, then tell it. Don't give us the end of it with nothing in the middle. So I do think this next film is going to give us her journey as a Jedi Master. And just a fan theory, they might say it's a standalone, but if it does well, I think it's absolutely going to be a trilogy. And there are some rumblings that in all but name this film is episode 10. On the Hot Mic podcast a few weeks ago, John Rocker and insider Jeff Snyder shared a rumour stating that originally they weren't happy with Lindelof's first draft. That must have caused a few butting of heads, maybe he proposed something else, but eventually he was let go. In addition to this, Lindelof was not aware that Obaid-Chinoy was directing the movie. There was undisclosed friction between the two creatives. But as with everything, Lucasfilm will never know the truth. These are just tidbits and rumours, but Damon Lindelof being ousted from Lucasfilm is from the man himself. But as I say, there is no bad blood, and eventually he wants to try his hand again at a Star Wars movie that Lucasfilm approve of. I think it's safe to say from what I've seen from fan reactions not only on YouTube but also other fan spaces that most fans are most looking forward to Filoni's film, the Mandalorian era movie. In case you missed it, I did have a few updates for it in yesterday's video, but it is the most anticipated. I've not seen nearly as much hype for the Rey film, but that could be still to come. When we finally have a title and a teaser trailer maybe later in 2024, maybe that's when fans are finally going to start talking about it, because I've not seen too much excitement. As a character, the way J.J. Abrams wrote her, she was very divisive. Taking on the name Skywalker, a lot of fans felt fatigue after Rise. And so when you add to that Lucasfilm's history of not delivering on movies, you can understand why some fans feel a bit apprehensive. It's a sort of wait-and-see mentality, but come hell or high water, this is the movie that Lucasfilm really want out on time. I just hope, for their sake, they get it right, and Stephen Knight, we know he's very talented. I think he's one of the best writers they could have got for this project, so I do have a bit of faith in him. I've not seen too much from Obaid-Chinoy, apart from the Miss Marvel stuff. That's all I can say at this stage. We really just don't know what to expect, but let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And now let's move on to our next subject. Did you know that Axe Woves was originally going to die in The Mandalorian Season 2, at least according to Katee Sackhoff? In an interview with Christian Harloff, which we spoke about in my last video, Bo-Katan actress Katee Sackhoff revealed that The Mandalorian Season 2 was gonna kill off Axe Woves, which is why he doesn't appear in the finale. In her own words, she said he was supposed to die last year. That was the thing that no one could talk about. That was the moment where he sacrifices himself in that episode. We shot it in Season 2. Simon Cassianides' Axe Woves returned for 3 episodes of Season 3, where in the finale he crashed Moff Gideon's light cruiser into his Mandalore base. Thankfully, he survived and played such an important role in that finale. Now, while Katee Sackhoff never named the Season 2 episode, she described it while also noting there was still a scene left without him in it. She says, quote, "And then they were like, it needs to be Din, not him, so then you shoot a person's death, and then they take it out, and then there's still a scene left, and then everyone's like, where'd they go?" Many fans think it could have been in Chapter 11, The Heiress, the scene where Mando was charging down a hallway towards stormtroopers, taking laser fire all the while. After being knocked off his feet from the assault, he manages to throw an explosive at the Imperials, allowing Bo-Katan, Koskari's, and Axe Woves to advance. Since Axe Woves is absent from the following scene, it's not hard to imagine that he was supposed to be the Mandalorian to take out the stormtroopers at the cost of his own life. That would have been really sad, but I'm really happy they kept him for Season 3. He was absolutely pivotal, and with the other Night Owls returned to Bo after they originally abandoned her to become mercenaries. Now, this is not the first time we've had deleted scenes for Mando described to us. There was a scene in Season 2 that we do get a glimpse of in the Disney Gallery where Greef Karga and Boba Fett meet. I would love to eventually see a compilation of all the deleted scenes. There must be quite a few of them. And so finally, my dear friends, everyone is playing Jedi Survivor, but another popular Star Wars game, this one from 2022, gets its first 2023 announcement. The official Star Wars site announced a new piece of DLC for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga to tie in with Star Wars Day on May the 4th. A new playable character, Luke Starkiller, is going to be available from next week free of charge. Luke Starkiller was of course George Lucas's original name for Luke Skywalker, and it seems like this new DLC character is going to be modelled off of the concept art done by Ralph McQuarrie for A New Hope. McQuarrie's artwork has been referenced in numerous Star Wars shows at this point, and Hasbro even made an action figure of this look. There's also a Funko. Now, when LEGO Star Wars came out, I covered it extensively, and you know I still have fun with it now and then. I was recently enjoying the Star Wars Rebels DLC pack. I love playing as Hera and Sabine.
So perhaps think twice before taking a dip.
But with that said, my dear friends, share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and if you want more videos that you can't find here on YouTube, while also supporting what I do, getting your name at the end of my videos and more, then click the link down there in the description. You'll get access to our Discord server, over 200 videos that you can't find here on YouTube, and so much more. But until the next one, guys, may the Force be with you always.